Hi, I'm Tommy with Richmond Comix.
And I'm Travis from Checkpoint Ahead.
We're going to get into the beginning of the brand new Marvel Universe and talk about how Gordon finally found his Joker. Coming right up.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. My first pick of the week this week is going to be Plutona. It's number 1 by Jeff Lemire and Emmy Lennox, colors by Jordi Belair. This is a new story. It's basically about a group of kids who find a superhero. Superhero is badly injured. We're not sure if she's dead or yet not. But basically, it's kind of got a feel of like old Spielberg movies, or maybe like even like a Coen Brothers movie. Just very like the kids are very wholesome, like they really feel like characters. The Goonies, I would also say, is a good reference point there.
And so this is Jeff Lemire. They're the Canadian Goonies.
Exactly, Canadian Goonies. Yeah, the characters are pretty varied as far as race, gender, all that kind of stuff. Not just that, there's a really cool relationship between a boy and what I assume is an abusive father. You kind of have hints of that about it. Other than that, basically they're going around. They're looking for superheroes. That's kind of how they pass the time in this town. They just look up into the sky as if you would bird watching, and they're looking for capes. At this time, they're wandering off by themselves in a place maybe they shouldn't go, and that's kind of where they find Plutona, which you don't really learn a lot about her. So it's kind of very early stages there. There is a backup story, however, that features a story about Plutona. Again, very early stages of learning who she is. She's got a kid, so she's not your standard superhero because she does have the responsibility of being a parent. And it seems like she's pretty open about who she is. So I'm very excited to see where the story goes. Really curious about Plutona and who she is. So can't wait to see the next issue.
That's cool. Jeff Lemire's amazing writer. I've enjoyed everything I've ever read from him.
Absolutely.
My runner-up this week is Detective Comics 44. I've talked a bit in the past about how the new DC Universe is confusing me because I like it so much. With this, my favorite DC character, Renee Montoya, is finally back. She and Bullock are partnered up, and spoilers in case you haven't paid attention to the internet in the last few months. Commissioner Gordon is now Batman, and he's a giant robot. And they have a blimp that they drop giant robot Batman out of, and it is amazing.
That sounds amazing.
It is. In this issue, a giant Joker robot shows up, and it's about 5 times bigger than the Batman robot suit that he's wearing. So Commissioner Gordon finally gets his Batman versus Joker fight, but it's hilariously short, honestly, the fight itself, and then the person inside the armor, and I won't spoil it, but it's someone who has been around Gotham for a while now, at least in the New 52, and the fact that this character is trying to be the arch nemesis is adorable and hilarious at the same time. There's a B plot with Bullock's partner, Detective Yip, who he's also having a relationship with, who is a dirty cop, and dealing with the ramifications of that. Really good cop drama. If you enjoyed Gotham Central, this is a great place to jump back into the Gotham PD.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, 2 things I love in this world: Batman and giant robots. So
yes.
That sounds amazing. And I'm super curious about Gordon as Batman, so I'm definitely excited to check that out.
They've also got a weird like SUV kind of thing with a bat symbol on the hood.
Okay.
That the detectives ride around behind robot Batman.
Okay, I'm okay with that. All right. My pick of the week, Last Days of Silver Surfer. If you aren't reading this book, you need to start. Basically, this big thing coming up, all new, all different Marvel, you might have heard of it. It's kind of a big deal. I'm pretty sure this is where it starts. So if you aren't reading it, check it out. Basically, Silver Surfer and Dawn, who is, for all intents and purposes, his companion, aka, or similar to Doctor Who, I guess. In this case, they're remaking the universe. They are in a void where no one exists. The only people that are there are Glorian, who is the Shaper of Worlds, or he works for the Shaper of Worlds, who is this big white guy. So that's cool. So Dawn and Silver Surfer are just remaking the Marvel Universe. Dawn is kind of in charge of Earth, since that's where she's from. She comes into a bit of a problem, realizing she doesn't really know Earth that well, even though she's from it. only really spent her time in Cape Cod, I believe is what it was called. So she's kind of making an Earth based off of only her memories and postcards from her sister. Not a great template. Silver Surfer, meanwhile, is off with Glorian, remaking everything else, the entire universe. He made a promise to Dawn, so he's kind of going with the characters that are more recently introduced. So you're not really seeing the Skrulls and all those guys come back. It's more of the aliens that you're seeing throughout, the previous run of the series. A lot of cool jokes in this. Some pretty cool shots at Adam Sandler, which I'm always okay with. Galactus. Not going to spoil it. So much with Galactus. Big things with Galactus in this case. So, anybody who's not reading this book, check it out. It kind of leaves on a cliffhanger. Basically, the Shaper of Worlds is realizing that what Silver Surfer and Dawn are doing is not the way the shape is supposed to be. So, don't really know what's going on there. Really excited to see what I'm pretty sure is the birth of the new Marvel Universe. So, I think it's a really cool idea to spin it off in this series, which has been pretty self-contained so far.
It has been really good. Mike Allred, huge fan. Love Batman from way back.
Oh, yeah.
So I've really been enjoying this book as well.
Yeah, and he definitely evokes a very Kirby, old 70s style. So it fits the book perfectly.
Absolutely. All right. My pick of the week, Thor's. Continuing on our Secret Wars rampage.
Because you need to read it already.
There really isn't much in comics better than Secret Wars right now, in my opinion. Thor's, for those of you who have not been reading, is basically NYPD Blue if every character was a Thor. Now, all the Thors have distinct personalities. There's the fat racist Thor. There is the rookie Thor who has no clue what's going on. The book starts off, issue 1 starts off with Ultimate Thor and Beta Ray Bill as homicide detectives. And they've caught a murder, which is, the rest of the Thors are calling it an all thing, which is sort of like, I think in cop dramas they call them red balls or something, where it's a really, really bad thing that has to be taken care of right now. And what they've done is they've caught a murder, and then they catch another murder, and it's the same person who's been murdered multiple times. So they keep finding this same person over and over again. Well, in the last issue, they meet a crazy homeless guy called Loki, and most of this issue is spent with Ultimate Thor interrogating Loki. And it is, for one thing, it is a great interrogation scene where you've got a police officer who's desperately trying to get information out of someone who is obviously smarter than the officer who is trying to get the information. It's really well done. And then the end of this issue, this is issue 3, the end of this issue, we find out who the murderer is, and it is not in any way who I thought it was, so now I have no clue what's going to happen next. I'm really excited about it. All kinds of versions of Thor in this. We've got a Groot Thor that just runs around saying, I'm Thor.
Yes, the best Thor.
Yeah, we've got a version of Stormbringer, which was Storm from the X-Men, who at one point turned into Thor. She's in here as well. And the interactions between her and the fat racist Thor, all kinds of fun.
Sounds it.
Yeah. Highly recommend Thor's if you have not been reading it. If you have, you are in for a treat.
Okay, I think I might have asked you this in a previous episode. Is the female Thor, the current Thor, in that book?
Maybe.
Okay.
There is a female Thor that is kind of in the background. There's only a handful of Thors that are kind of in the main characters. There's Ultimate Thor, whose name is Leaf. There's Beta Ray Bill, the fat racist Thor, who I cannot remember what they called him.
I like fat racist Thor, so I'm cool with that.
It doesn't matter. He's like a worse version of Sipowicz from NYPD Blue. But it's a great cop drama.
Awesome.
Yep. It's trivia time. Sadly, we did not have a winner last week. We had a winner, but he won the week before, and that's not fair.
Not at all.
So what we're going to do is we're going to continue on with this crazy evil Joker and his box of doom. So the trivia question is Hawkeye's wife from Avengers Age of Ultron plays another comic book character in a different film. It is a live-action film. I want the name of the character and the movie, and we'll throw a little something extra in since we're using this 2 weeks in a row.
And you can email your answers at richmix@richmondcomics.com. We need our answers in by Monday at midnight, so get to it. And like I said, live action, not animated.
Excellent.
And that is trivia.
Come back next week. We have a huge announcement, and you will want to hear it. Till then, I've been Tommy from Richmond Comix. You can follow me all over social media at Richmond Comix.
And I'm Travis from CheckpointAhead.com. You can follow us at Facebook.com/CheckpointAheadPodcast. Any of your geeky or gaming or comic book needs, come check us out for CheckpointAhead.com.
And we'll see you on Wednesday. Let's do it again.